ShootingUSA.com, your resource for firearms news and information.
We talk about reloading in almost every sport we cover, and for the most part, shooters reload their firearms the same way. But that's not true for revolver reloading. So Mike Irvine's lined up the top IRC competitors to show you how each chooses to reload their wheel guns.
At its best, the revolver reload is seamless, flawless, and almost faster than the eye. But when a reload goes bad, it's a frustrating and costly experience. Getting the rounds in the gun is one of the biggest keys to any revolver competition. Especially true at the IRC. Shooters will make a minimum of 42 reloads before the match is over. And that means slow reloads add a lot of time to a stage.
We were shooting 14 stages with an average of 3 reloads per stage. And so you start shaving a quarter second, tenth of a second off per reload, you're talking about an awful lot of seconds saved. In this match, you're gonna win and lose that on your reloads. You gotta be able to reload a revolver real quick.
Rich Wolf is a top contender in the open division and a master of the strong hand reload.
What I'm gonna do is once I break that shot, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna hit that cylinder release. And with these 2 fingers here, I'm gonna open that cylinder up on the opposite side, and I'm gonna poke those fingers all the way through that frame there, and I'm gonna let go of the gun with my strong hand. And that way I can use this hand to start coming in for a fresh moon clip here while I'm injecting the rounds with this hand here. So you gotta kinda let gravity do its work here. Eject those rounds. You grab the new set, pop it in, regain control of the gun, close that cylinder with your thumb, and you're back up on target.
No surprise, the opposite of the strong hand reload is the weak hand. This is the technique Iron Sights division champion John Vigakis likes the best. Simply, it means loading the rounds with your weak hand.
I break my last shot. Once I break that shot, turn the gun, the trigger finger's coming over to push the cylinder. This thumb is releasing it. Then I roll the gun back and eject the rounds. As I bring the gun down, I'm grabbing the next set of rounds, dropping them in, coming back up, and firing.
Both John and Rich compete with moon clips. Classic division competitors use speed loaders and have different reloading methods. Craig Buckland calls his version the switch hand reload.
What I'll do is after I break the shot, I'll open the cylinder, get it about 160 degrees, give a good whack on the ejector rod till all the shell's clear, rotate it down, insert the speed loader, that falls away, close it, and come back up. So the switch hand obviously is when I'm unloading, and the trick is, for me, is to get my hand positioned before I close the cylinder so that I can come back up. I use it that way for classic because you're loading loose rounds, and if you get one hung up, it's a real problem.
Nearly every top competitor has a slightly different way of reloading, but the theory on who's the best among the shooters is unanimous.
Jerry's probably the most consistent, best reloader out there.
Boy howdy, I gotta go with Jerry on that one.
Jerry's smooth. I mean, he's had a lot of time doing it.
Geez, let me think about that. Miklik, some guy named Miklik. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've heard
yeah.
He's pretty good with a revolver right here.
He's okay, yeah. I think he's gonna go places. Yeah, and he does a switch hand reload, which is the other reason I did it.
Jerry Michlik's reload is the stuff of legend around here. You can see Jerry's technique in slow motion. He calls this the classic reload.
Well, I do what I call the classic way. I'm right-handed and I put it in the left hand to extract the cases and then load it with my right hand. It's the consistency factor. If I do it 100 times, that's what I'm concerned about. See, on a day like today when I'm not really up to par, I just jumped out of the car. It's cold, it's raining, I gotta do 2-3 reloads really good. I gotta have consistency.
Jerry is the best reloader, but his technique is not the only method. Ultimately, everyone has a slightly different variation of the reload. The trick is to find the one that works best for you.
It's a different way to skin the cat, you know, that's why we come here to see which way is better at the end of the day.
There's still more to come with Mike doing the reloading. Mike tries International Revolver competition for the first time. His experience is next.
Makes the most sense to me. Let's just see if I remember it. I have no revolver experience. None at all. No place to hide now. So I decide I'm gonna pick up revolver shooting at the International Revolver Championship. The first thing I did was I called Randy Lee and Lisa Farrell at Apex Tactical. I just called Randy and said, help me.
Well, Mike had mentioned that he hadn't had a whole lot of experience with the revolvers, and especially in the run and gun types of venues.
I don't even own a rig. I don't have a gun, I don't have a holster, a belt, stuff for moon clips, nothing. So I end up borrowing Lisa Farrell's 627 Smith & Wesson. I'm not sure how Lisa felt about that.
Well, if he breaks it, Randy will have to fix it.
I'm all ready to go. It's the first stage, everything's set. Get up there, hands in position, and I'm staring at a Texas Star. That's great for the new guy. Those plates look so small from right here. Why do they look smaller from the barrel? They felt bigger from right there. Buzzer sounds, first two shots, I hit the first two plates, and I'm immediately stunned. And then I miss the next several. Round counts off, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to go slow and put all the hits on paper. So two things happened.
Yes.
I hit the first two plates and surprised myself. And then I missed a couple and got way off the round count and had no round count throughout the rest of the stage.
Yeah.
There's two ways to reload a revolver, a strong hand or a weak hand. I ended up going with a weak hand just because it felt natural. It seemed like the easier thing for me to do. After I'd run that first stage, Randy and Lisa were able to show me some ways to make the weak hand reload work a little better, and that was a huge help for me. People need to realize Lisa Farrell's a high lady finisher here several times, and she's very, very accomplished at this game. If I hadn't had her there to walk me through these stages and break this down, it'd have been a lot longer and rougher experience for me. And that's part of being here though, is you're always gonna find somebody who's going to help you out and help you get through these stages. It's one thing to just stand there and try to reload a revolver when you're not familiar with it. It's another thing entirely to do it when you're running a stage, under time, trying to do it on the move. And at IRC, there are mandatory reloads all over the place. You got about 3 reloads per stage at a minimum that you have to do. That's a lot to remember when you're brand new.
4A, yep. 4A, yep. 4A, yep.
Pretty good. From Jerry Michlik to John Bagakis to Julie Golub, they all say the same thing. This game is about being accurate. If you get your hits, even if you're slow, you're still gonna score okay. And I was pretty accurate most of the time. Just don't show this one.
The sun got you.
That's right. One of the reasons I really wanted to compete at the IRC was Jerry Michlik. I wanted to come shoot a stage and then go back and watch Jerry shoot the stage and watch him shoot these stages and half the time with twice as much accuracy. Jerry's the best all time at this. There's never gonna be another Jerry. And it's so much fun to get out there and experience that, to be a part of his world and to see him at his best. I'm in a great squad, really great people. And ironically, one of the members of my squad is a guy I spent all of last year trying to find.
I thought I put something on to stick out better.
Yeah,
so,
well,
there he is.
So the backstory is last year I found out there was only one person in the entire match who didn't shoot a Smith & Wesson. And I looked and looked and looked and I couldn't find the guy. So this year he came dressed for me, would be the right way to say it. He was a fun guy, and we had a few jokes with our different choices in firearm. So what he's saying is I have to earn a Smith & Wesson.
Oh, there you go.
I can just have a Ruger.
There you go.
By the 4th or 5th stage, I had started to kind of figure out this game. And so I was able to start breaking the stages down for what I thought I should do and then run that off of Lisa, and she could give me a few pointers to figure out the best shooting plan for me. Where my game's at, I wouldn't be smarter to go take a side, reload, take a side, reload, advance, and finish. This is the last stage that I'm gonna get to shoot. This is it, my match is over at this point. I've gotta go be the TV guy after this. So I'm really putting a lot of thought in doing this one right. I hear the buzzer and I get the gun out, and one pickup early, but 1-for-1 shooting the rest of the way through, and make the charge down, a good reload, finish out, and I'm under 20 seconds for the first time all day. I can't end better than that.
Mike was really starting to pick up the feel of the gun. You could tell at the very beginning it's sort of foreign. It's a little bit, there's some tentativeness in how you operate the gun, but through the next stage and the progressive stages, we saw his time drop by major chunks of time, like 10 seconds, just because he was familiar with the smoothness of how to open the cylinder, get the spoon clip out, put the new one in, and then start prepping on the trigger.
794.
The crowd seemed to enjoy it. I mean, I didn't hear him chant anybody else's name. Actually, right before I shot, John Bagakis, the limited champion, came up to me, and I rubbed some good juju off his shooting hand. Hey, rub my arm again, because that truly paid off. Thanks, man. That seemed to pay off for me, and there's plenty of good juju to rub off of the shooters here. Everybody is in such a great mood.
Nice. It's nice to have support. You get plenty of that here.
Ultimately, I don't know if I've ever had more fun shooting a match. I'm not an exception. Anybody out there will give you a rig, show up, I want to try this game. Here's a rig, borrow it. That's just the mentality that these people have, and that's part of the experience.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mike, not bad for the first time shooting. Now, Irvine may have found a new hobby. Oh, when he wasn't lying, here is his Smith & Wesson Model 627. Irv is now getting ready for more revolver competition.